What's up, y'all? So, I'm gonna have this random, exclusive round table, red round table, quick talk with y'all because, yes, I'm all in my feelings. And yes, as a creative, as a public figure, as a person who is a speaker, um, the devil is always busy upon you doing something great. Me living in my realm and my element last night, thanks to Mark LeVar opening the door for me and an opportunity to be in the element that I've always dreamed of being in. I was born to do and born to be in. But I always know that upon your greatness, the enemy, low vibrations, evil spirits, unhappy, miserable people will be used. People that you think will be there won't. People think you trust, you can't. People you will show up for anytime that you can for less. Will be dummied down, um, unavailable, nonchalant, uncommunicative. You know, I I hold a lot of stuff. And y'all have heard me repeatedly say how, I believe, and I do. But my mom, we ain't never did all of this. I've never been mistreated by my stepmothers or my bonus moms ever. Now, I've told y'all through the years that me and my ex-husband's wife were really cool. But as of last night, that has ceased. So let me give y'all a backstory. So, allegedly, around June 26th, 27th, 28th, my son, y'all know, Pootie, allegedly twisted her 8-year-old son's arm over a game. He's there for the summer. Mind you, he hasn't been there in 3 years. So, these nephews of hers come and tell her that Yamir twisted the son's arm on yesterday, which was July 7th, during a game, and whatever else happened. Okay. But nobody, we have an agreement, first of all, that we'll keep each other posted. If there's any incidents that happen, I will be called. We just text each other. Like last week, I asked, how is he doing? Keep me updated. Oh, I'm going to keep you updated, but you failed to update me on this, okay? So my son, I'm just leaving the set. My son calls me. He's whispering, and he sounds like he's crying. And I'm like, Yamir, what's wrong? And he's like, nothing. I'm the nothing child. And something was always wrong. Matter of fact, I would be trying to commit suicide, okay? So I'm the nothing child. Yamir, what's wrong? Nothing. You're not calling me in a dark black room. Why are you in this room? Why is your camera off? Why can't I see you? What's going on? Well, Mom, he calls them my cousins. And at this point, like I told him, those are not your cousins. I don't care who's offended. At this point, it's cut off. Those are not your cousins. And anybody that would stir the pot over a week later don't have your best interests. So allegedly she told him, you're not an adult. You don't have the right. All these are facts. To chastise my child. If you have a problem with Grayson or Grayson does something to you, you need to come and talk to me. Well, why didn't your nephews been given that same sentiment? Why wasn't your nephews? They're not adults. Because when I asked her, well, why didn't, did you call Grace and my nephews handled it? But they're not adults. And you just told y'all married that he didn't have the right to handle it. Why did your nephews and how did they handle it? What did they do? What did they do to him? What happened? What else is not being told to me? What else happened if they handled it, but they're not adults? So you should have been saying to them, you should have told me that this happened when it happened. Why are you coming a week later? The issue I have, okay, you can be mad about your son's arm being twisted, but your reaction as somebody that's saying you're getting your master's in psychology or psychiatry is very disturbing. So because your nephews come to you over a week later to tell you that my son twisted your 8-year-old's arm about a game, oh, and that he cussed a few times, that you're going to cut off his support cat's head and hand it to him. Then you're going to beat his ass. And then you're going to whoop his mother's black ass if she comes here. The reaction speaks to me, you don't fuck with my son for real. Because whose reaction is that? What's the word I want to even use for that type of behavior? Sadistic? Why do you want to cut off a kitten's head because your son's arm got twisted? Mind you, let's put quote unquote, let's put asterisks there. Nobody's called the baby yet, the 8-year-old. No one has called him to ask him, has his arm been twisted? For all of this reaction, no one has called the 8-year-old to ask him, in fact or not, if my son twisted his son's arm, his stepbrother's arm. Okay, so your reaction is way out the window for you not even to have talked to your own child to find out if anything is even factual. I said nothing's wrong with your son mentally, that he's not disabled, or he can't talk, or nonverbal, or any of that. She uses the excuse that he has a diagnosis that he can't. And I had to check her. I said, but you told me that in school somebody was messing with him, picking on him, they was bullying him, and he was able to depict who it was. So now all of a sudden, this his whole brother, that's his stepbrother. He don't know who he is. All of a sudden, he's unable to identify whether or not his arm was twisted by him or not. Just stop lying. You're a liar. You didn't call him. Just say I didn't call and ask him. I went off the jump of the deep end with what my nephew said, and I just said, and I went off because I have my own mental issues, obviously. Because you definitely have them if you think, first of all, that you're doing something to me. And anybody that know me, you clearly don't have an understanding. I'm the most beautiful soul until I'm not. So, for you to say such horrific things to an already emotionally diagnosed child due to the fact of your husband, you're adding to that. But you're getting your master's in psychiatry. It's funny to me that the last time I had to do a video, it was a broad that is, I thought was in psychology or psychiatry. She don't even have a license. She's just a basic bum. Decides to be an adult cyber bully, 50-year-old bully, for whatever reasons. And then now we have someone else in the field. I'm kind of scared now of what is to come with these people talking about they giving people diagnosis and help when they obviously need it themselves. So when my son calls me crying, I don't want to be here. Why would she want to hurt my cat, Mom? That's my only friend. Anybody who has followed me, who follows me every week on my podcast, already know what my son has been going through. Y'all already see what is going on now with the school. Everywhere he turns, it's some form of attack on his life, on his self-esteem. And I'm strategically watching how the spirit is moving. Okay, so when I confront the situation, his father has the audacity to text me back and say he is in agreement with what his wife said of cutting off the cat's head, whooping my ass. I find that so amusing. And beating him. Sir, you are someone that doesn't even deserve the opportunity or the chance that you've had. You don't. You don't. It's sad to me that men will find any woman to be up under because you really don't want to put in the full work for yourself. You always going to find a woman who is a go-getter, who going to get her money so that you have the cushion. Not the woman have the cushion, so that man can have a cushion. You sat there and text me that you were in agreement with everything that she said about your son. And when asked, did y'all call the so-called abused person, the arm-twisted person? You say, I found out today. And I ask again, that's not what I'm asking you. Did you call him? We just found out today. Sir, it's a yes or no answer. Did y'all ask that child, did my child twist his arm? About the fourth interrogation question, she says yes. You're a liar. Had you done that, that would have been set upon the first incident. Then you deflect and say, well, if you're going to talk to me like this, I'm not talking to you ever again. I don't give a damn if you never talk to me again. What you're not going to do is talk to my son like that ever again. So I had to call the police to their resident. And this is where people don't do their job yet again. So the police leave. The police leave, and they never physically see my son. You see how kids end up buried or bloodied and cut up in the bathtub, and the police are really at the door, and the parents saying they're asleep, and that child is dead, been murdered? Man, I let them have it. First of all, you never physically saw my child, did you? No, because soon as the police were leaving, I called the dispatcher back and I said, hey, they're leaving. They've never laid eyes on my child. How do they know he's even in there alive? She's like, oh my God, hold on. So I just told him, you cannot not do that. Do you not understand? We see this around the world, across the news every freaking day, where y'all just believe whatever a parent's saying. Y'all walk away and a parent in there hanging from a ceiling fan or something. I mean, the child is in there hanging by the hands of the parent from a ceiling fan. And the body dangling and swirling right there. And y'all never go see if the child is physically in the bed or not. I don't care. He's not no toddler. Wake him up. I need to physically see him. A parent is calling all the way from Virginia to check on a child. Because y'all done threatened the child, the child's life, the cat's life, the mama who ain't even in the state life. Because of what? A twisted arm? That lets me know you don't mess with my child. Because boys is going to be boys. Children are going to be children. Boys are going to be boys, and children are going to be children. So for your reaction about a twisted arm, as if he flew to his father when he flew out there with his arm hanging on by a thread, and the father called you back in and said, hey, my son's arm can barely move. Who abused him? What happened to him? Did your husband put his hands on him? And nobody's telling. And all of a sudden, everybody wants to come clean because now you're in trouble as a parent because his arm was dangling when he got off the plane. You ain't even talked to the boy. And it wasn't, and it obviously ain't that serious. If it's a whole week later and these boys is just now telling you something, this is why I don't trust people. I've gotten to a place and I've done a lot of shadow work on me so that I could start back trusting people, but I'm back at zero. Because there's all types of different situations that I'm going through with different people in different dimensions and levels of those dimensions on personal levels as well as just acquaintanceship levels. People are weird. People are weird. I'll take being weird, but I talk about my weirdness and I let my weirdness be known and I don't hide behind it. But anytime that you threaten a child's support cat to cut his head off and hand it to that child, he's crying like, that's my only friend, Mom. Why was she threatened? But he's crying. He's not talking like I'm talking. Why was she hurt my cat? Why was she threatened? He took that to heart. My baby, anybody know my child personally? He is literal. He is a literal. Both of my kids are literal. When you tell them something, they see it black and white. It's literal. And for that one, there is like no in between. It is literal. It is a literal situation. So, like I said, y'all, these spirits is working. And they availing themselves to be used. But I tell you what, my child will not be taken advantage of because of someone who does not know how to parent or control their emotions. Or maybe you know how to parent your kids, but you obviously don't know how to parent mine because this is number 2. This ain't the first. But when you talking about what you gonna do to me, first of all, I don't even know what's going on. Why am I brought? So you obviously you have an issue with me as well, and that's fine. Because one thing I can be rested easy is when I got into relationship with you because you said you wanted to know me for yourself, not based upon nobody else's opinion, which had let me know my ex-husband was talking stuff about me to you. I genuinely took that because we don't have this drama. My stepmoms can sit down and have dinner together to this day and laugh and hug each other and say, I love you, and go about their business. This type of drama of they gonna cut off my cat's head, or we ain't never dealt with no foolishness. None of that. If I did something, my stepmom told me about it, and that was it. She ain't even call my mom about it because it was never really nothing serious. And even if it was, she would never call. She just didn't. They handled it. And if I would have hit my sister or my mom is not fitting to cuss them out, and my stepmoms is not fitting to try to threaten my life or something. I'm gonna whoop your mom up because you twisted my grandbaby arm. Like, who? What is wrong? And y'all let me know. Am I missing something? I'm so serious, y'all. I am on the verge and the edge. I'm telling y'all of not messing with people. Period. Nobody. On no personal, intimate levels like friendship, you coming, none of that. I'm about to cut everybody off because people are weird. And I don't have time. And when you threatening my child, you done took it to a whole nother dimension. You beyond levels. You done took it to a whole nother dimension of the abyss. Because that reaction was way uncalled for. You would think that they said that my son beat her son, molested her son, killed her son. I don't know, something just crazy that you would, I don't know why you would want to cut the cat head off. I don't understand what the cat got to do with it. Or you just trying to find a way to hurt him. And you know this is all he has. Emotionally. He's been jumped and beat up and fought all year long. So his self-esteem is already low. And he already feels like he doesn't have friends. So now you want to try to... But you want to be a psychiatrist. But this is the tactic that you use against a child who is already emotionally damaged. Girl, miss me. Girl, miss me. Because I have every last text message. And I can depict this whole situation. I have control of the situation. I can see if you're going to get a license or not. Because I have the messages where you admitted to saying what you said to him. You think somebody want to give you a license to counsel their kid and you talking crazy to your own stepchild that you claim you love? Because of an alleged twisting of the arm that y'all didn't even find out. I'm sure y'all gonna get on the phone and call today. But why shouldn't y'all have done that when it was accused? Why would you wait till after all this got to come out and you got to be somewhere talking about doing something to me, my son, and his support kitten because your nephews told you something that you didn't even go verify? Shows me a little bit of emotional unstableness in your own self. Because why are you flipping off and snapping off to that point that you want to behead a kitten and hand the kitten's head to my son who has already been traumatized? It's cool. It's cool. It's so cool. Not playing. I asked for my son to be removed from the home, whether he will be or not, due to the family, the godmoms, the sister friends that I have down there. I'm not there, so I'm trying to get someone to get my child for me. And I'll tell you what, I will cut everybody off. I mean that from my soul. I will block you. I will unfriend you. That's where I'm at right now. I do not care if I've known you 150 years. You will be unfriended and blocked. I don't do people nonchalantness. Not when I have gotten up out my bed and sat on my bed, for less. I won't do it. I've had it. I have had it. And I've poured so much into everybody else's cup. I've spent my entire life doing that. Taught to do that. I'm feeling my own. I'm feeling my own. And if feeling my own means emptying out you from my life, then that's so be it. I know that I genuinely love, but I'm not going to be taken for granted. And I'm not going to have my child taken for granted. Y'all got to learn how to have boundaries. And you'll find out who really mess with you when you got those boundaries. Because as long as you're available for everybody, everybody's happy. The moment you say, I'm done being available, the moment people will get real funny on you and act like you did something wrong to them when the only thing you did was self-love and create a safe peace space for yourself. As long as you all available for them, they all good. But the moment they can't invade your space and call you when they want to, it's a problem. I've gotten out my bed. I've gotten out my bed to fight people through my life. I've gotten out my bed to listen to people holler and scream and rant and rave about stuff that they created they damn selves. But I still was available. And when I need somebody, it's crickets, quiet. They ain't answering. Or I'm just gonna go lay and look at you like you slow while we talking if we doing a video chat. No. I mean what I'm saying, y'all. Done. And in the midst of all of this, get a phone call about 5 this morning that his favorite auntie, my uncle's wife, has crossed over after the aftermath of that drama last night. I can't tell him that. I can't tell him that. Because he kept saying, I want to talk to her. I want to talk to her. I can't tell him that. See, my life as a mom is never done. Is being a mom easy? Hell no. when you have sons with emotional disabilities that are created from abandonment issues, from fathers leaving, mothers leaving, you know, if your grandparent raised you, your grandparent leaving, your grandfather, whatever, it makes it hard. It makes it hard. Because I'm still healing from my own childhood trauma. Just keep it 100 a buck. That's why I write books. And it's transparent. And this last one is going to be part 3. Yeah. Which is already mentioned in my books. How I write. I write it to where it interloops to the title of the new book. Yeah. This one is probably going to be hard, and it's going to be a trigger for a lot of people. Because a lot of people are still hiding behind a lot of mental, emotional, and spiritual and mental abuse. And we go around pretending like this stuff doesn't hurt and it doesn't bother us. Well, I'm not pretending anymore. I've stopped pretending a long time. I stopped pretending before I left Pennsylvania. So at this point in my life, let the low side drag. And if you never got it right with me, that's on you. Y'all know who you are and what you've done. So what I won't allow is my son to have to hold on to some adult who is unable to obviously self-control her own emotions, that you would threaten him, that he has to live like that. And when my son told me, Mom, I don't love her anymore because she doesn't love me. And she threatened my kitten, but he's crying the whole time, boo-hooing. And I don't want to come down here, and my dad didn't do anything. My dad didn't say anything. So how do you feel about a child has just reunited with you in the last few years, but you haven't seen him? He hasn't been there to y'all home in 3 years. You have made him feel unsafe. You have made him feel unwanted. You have made him feel like you're going to side with your wife. And once again, I'm left abandoned out in the cold because this is your home. This is y'all's space. I'm a guest here. I don't belong here. I'm just a piece of the puzzle who gets plucked out every now and then. And every now and then I get put back into place. But I really don't belong here. And she showed him that he don't belong there. And he said he never wants to go back down there again. And I told him, you don't have to. And the sad part to me is when my son called me on the phone and how his father came in the room, said it's time to go to bed, took the phone from him. And I said, well, we're on video, like I'm on video with y'all. I said, so why are you taking a phone from him? Because he's calling me, telling me what happened. He said, and hung up on me. So now, not only do I feel like my child not safe, you hanging up on me, I have no reason to communicate with you. I'm going to communicate with the police. Because I don't know if my child is safe or not. Y'all talking about beheading things, living things. So I'm calling the police. I need to do a wellness check because you hung the phone up. Now I can't talk to him. So I don't know what you in there doing. You could be hammering or bludgeoning him to death. I don't know, y'all. I don't take nobody's mental health for granted. That man been had mental health. So at the end of the day, I don't know what y'all doing. And by you already showing me when my father-in-law passed away, how you will disregard Yamir like he is a piece of trash. Like he is a aborted piece of trash. That he couldn't even go to his own grandfather's funeral because you said that the side that has nothing to do with the Bernard side, because your mama's side was coming to your daddy's side's funeral. Your son, that's his blood grandfather, though. Them people ain't got nothing to do with that. Because you wanted them to come to the funeral to be support to you. Your own child couldn't attend his grandfather's funeral. This was last year this time. And that's why I said no. He not going. He not coming nowhere near y'all. I don't trust y'all. And as a wife, for you to go along with that has told volumes to me. Because common sense would have said, I'm not trying to be funny, but that's his grandfather. Your mama's side is no bloodline to these people. But this is your son's biological father, grandfather. So why would he not be able to come to say, see you later to his grandfather? I don't care if he hadn't seen him since he was 3. Them people ain't have a bloodline, direct line, a phone line, a call line, a car line, a train line, no type of lines to this man, my father-in-law, who's an amazing man, Melvin Bernard, because you wanted somebody to be able from your mama's side to pick you up off the floor if you fail. My son was hurt by that. He still is hurt by that. I don't care, because what it showed him was, again, I choose someone else over you. So what is done to him now is that you chose someone else yet again over him, never calling a boy to ask him anything. And even if the boy comes back and says, yeah, he twisted my arm, was your reaction really valid? So that lets me know you don't fuck with my son for real. And yeah, I'm cussing y'all. If y'all mad, I don't care. I don't care. I'm sick of people. I'm sick of sacrilegious people. I'm sick of people being fake and fugazi. I'm tired of it. First of all, if those are saved and, oh, I remember when she was this, I'm still that. My relationship with God hasn't gone anywhere, because if that was the case, Peter would have never did anything with Jesus, because he was the most cussingest Christian that there was. So don't come to me talking about nothing. I want to get that out the way for y'all to be mad. Oh, she cusses now. Yes, I do. And sometimes cussing is the best healthy deliverance for me, because I would want to put some hands on somebody and it will be an even deeper situation, because people are weird. At the end of the day, you're choosing everybody over him. You chose a life over him for 3 years when we got separated, that you never even contacted your son. You on Instagram with a whole nother woman reading books to her son and hadn't talked to yours in 3. And I didn't care nothing about the woman, care less. When I'm done, I'm done. Cook me, put a fork in me, done. That's why I try not to allow people to get in that space of me being done, baby. Because that done is a done. You'll be like, I feel the fire. Don't play with me. At the end of the day, you're choosing and your son is seeing. And he's feeling. And he said this to me on his own. His godmama was on the phone, and I made sure she was on the phone, on the video chat, group chat, so that I would have witnesses. Because people love to lie. And love to lie on me. And I don't understand why when I tell y'all old phones that I could charge. Listen, don't play with me, because I hate a liar. I was abused as a kid myself. And all that man did was lie on me. So when I grew up, I knew what nobody be able to lie on me. I would keep all the evidence that I could. So that's why that thing is on the inside of me like it is. Because I remember being lied on all the time for dumb stuff. This one of the reason to choke me out or throw me down flights of steps, and I'm a 7-year-old child. I don't play that. So her being a wicked stepmom at this point is how I feel. You know that's a trigger for me, right? Those who know my story, who's read my books, y'all already know this is a trigger for me, right? You will not. You will not. You will not put your hands on. You will not. So all those threats, I take it to my soul, beyond my heart. People say, I take that to heart. I take that to my soul. You're capable of it, because it was done to me. And you know, spirits like to travel to generations. Y'all know that, right? And so it'll try to get one of your kids to have to relive, to keep the generational stuff going, to relive traumas that you have already been fighting so hard to diminish. I don't have time to play games with nobody. I don't. I don't play. And like I told him, because he was steady getting smart, once I texted him, because he wouldn't answer his phone, she wouldn't answer her phone. Video. Nobody wanted to answer their phones, but everybody has so much twisted armed and cutting heads off of cats and beating mama's asses going on. But nobody could get on the phone with me face to face to have a goddamn conversation. So we texting, which is even better. And I just made sure I hurried up and saved and forwarded voice messages to other people so that I have it somewhere so you won't lie. and say you didn't say this and you didn't say that and unsend it because we're talking through Messenger. And no, I'm not stupid, bruh. I already know how y'all moving. Y'all talking reckless and crazy. And like I told him, the police can't do nothing. They can't do nothing. They can't take my son. Yes, they can. No, they cannot. And I mean, he just smug and pompous and pious about it too, y'all. I said, baby, I got full custody of my son. You don't have no full custody of your son. What? You do not have full custody? I said, Tim, what the hell are you talking about? I've been have full custody of my son. And yes, now my son, because you ain't treating him like yours. You letting his wife talk crazy and you saying it was okay for her to say that she's going to cut the cat's head off. No. So I'm not even fooling with you. My son. Absolutely. Because I'm here for every scar and battle that he got emotionally and mentally and physically from fights and people talking about him in school. So at the end of the day, no, sir. They can come get him. Well, send me the paperwork. I don't have to send you a goddamn thing. Only people I got to send something to is the police. The police, why, baby? I ain't got to send nothing to you. No, send me the paper. I don't owe you that. Because you feel like you didn't owe my son a conversation by yourselves without a dominant woman. But you talked about me. But you go and marry someone that's worse because she's snapping off about everything. Never, not once have I ever talked to any of your family members crazy until they talk to me crazy. So for you to allow her to talk to your family member, your biological son from your loins, behooves me. Yeah. Yeah. The sun is coming up. I've been up since whenever I got the call about my aunt. At the end of the day, people are weird. And what you're not going to do is play with me. You're not. You're not going to play with me or my child. You didn't even give him the benefit of the doubt. Nobody thought to call the baby and find out if he twisted his arm. And even if he did, boys are going to be boys. Could y'all imagine growing up in the era we grew up, that is every time we did something, cousins fought with Tonka trucks, got hit in the eye with the little race cars, and all types of fights, rustling and rolling down hills. What we got? We got a whooping and we was made to hug and make up. Nobody ever talked about, I'm going to behead your pit bull in the backyard and hand you the head because you twisted my baby's arm. What is wrong, y'all? What is wrong? Like I said, you are ruining your own relationship because my child told me the exact words. She's going to ruin me and my dad's relationship, and he's going to let her, because I don't ever want to come down here again. He's devastated. But I guess she might have been popular all her life and never had people not like her, and so it's okay for her to say she's going to do this to his only friend. That's why he got the support cat. Everybody knows this. They wanted me, and then they asked me to get a dog years ago, and then they ended up getting dogs. So y'all know he needed it. The counselor has been saying that he needed it for emotional support. But yet, I pay for it. He has it. I pay for him to fly there. And y'all want to behead the cat? Y'all, help me make this make sense. Because right now, I'm done. I'm done.